Unemployment tax reform. We did that. We actually did a bond issue to get us out of debt with the federal government. I want to give Treasurer Dillon credit. It was actually recognized as the bond deal of the year for every bond deal in the entire United States. And what it's going to end up doing is saving our employers over $1 billion over the next 7 years, which will allow them to create more and better jobs for our citizens. Good work. Regulatory reform. We did good work there through the Office of Regulatory Reinvention and the work of this body working together. If you look at, we eliminated over 1,000 rules last year on a net basis. We roughly eliminated 10 rules for every new rule we added. That's how you create an environment that's conducive to business while still protecting our citizens that will generate jobs. Good work again. Infrastructure. Huge projects were going on that are only beginning, that I'll be talking about for the next few years, I hope, because of their progress. And the first one I have to mention, with a smile, it's a bridge. We're moving forward with the new international trade crossing. We're waiting on the presidential permit, but it's a great opportunity. I want to thank our partners in Canada. That would not be possible. So in particular, I want to give a shout out to Consul General Roy Norton, who is a tremendous person on a personal level, but also to the country of Canada for paying for this bridge. There are no taxpayer dollars involved. A huge accomplishment of something that had been 40 years in the making. This was attempt 24, and success happened. It's known as the Regional Transit Authority for Southeastern Michigan, and it was a great effort of people working together, and I want to thank you for all that hard work. I do have one particular announcement on that front. I'm announcing tonight the chair. I get one appointment as the chair of the RTA, and for that great group, I couldn't think of anyone better. The person that will serve as chair is Paul Hilligans. Paul. Many of you know Paul and his track record. It's fabulous. And then on the legislative side, I want to give a shout out to Senator Tom Casperson for his great work in making the RTA happen, along with many other transportation bills. It's a very quotable line. A Uber brought mass transit to Metro Detroit. One other thing I want to mention that wasn't done by this body, what was really important to our state that I want to acknowledge, it's a great achievement that they're just starting, but it will be critically important and exciting. It's a project in Grand Rapids, and it's a public-private partnership. They're going to put the rapids back in Grand Rapids and make it a recreational place where you can go kayaking and do other great things. It's a great environmental win, so I want to thank the people of the Grand Rapids area for that great hard work. Also, on the jobs front, I want to mention a program that many people don't know about, probably in this group, or most of our citizens don't. It's called Pure Michigan Business Connect. And it was an idea that I just viewed as common sense. And we worked hard working with the MEDC to really make it happen. And what's the concept? It's not about the government spending money. It's about asking Michiganders to do more business with Michiganders. Simply doing matchmaking and getting people signed up and working together. How's that for a great concept? Well, it works. We started it last year, a couple years ago actually, but the progress has been tremendous, and it started on the buying side in terms of purchasing more with our two big utilities, with Consumers and DTE. It happened on the lending side with two banks, Huntington and Fifth Third. And to give you an update, since 2010, in 2011 and 12, there has been over $800 million more purchasing done in the state of Michigan than was otherwise done, and there has been almost $2 billion of additional loans made in the last 2 years because of these programs, and it's going so well and so exciting that I was proud yesterday to announce that Ford and Chrysler are also joining the program. Let's keep this going. Let's get Michiganders buying more from Michiganders, because that's more jobs. Now let me turn to the people front, which is critically important, and we don't talk enough about that because we have people in need still in our state, and we need to do more to reach out to give them great service. One program I'm tremendously excited about. It gets me excited just talking about it. It's called Pathways to Potential. And I want to give credit to the Department of Human Services, Maura Corrigan, for coming forward with a program like that. And what's the concept? Let's get people out of the government office. And what we're doing is we're getting social workers, we're calling them success coaches, and we're asking them to leave the government office and go work in the local public elementary school. We're already doing that in 21 schools in our 4 most in need cities with the highest crime and biggest challenges: Flint, Pontiac, Saginaw, and Detroit. By February of this year, we'll have over 135 schools where we'll have success coaches in them. That's what government should be about. It's not about sitting in a government office waiting for your customer to come to you. It's about going to the customer, serving them in their neighborhood, understanding their issues better, taking better care of them, showing success. And I'm happy to share one success story with you. And I would ask that they stand. There are 3 people I'd ask to stand up: a success coach, Dana Trafolette, Yolanda Foster is a client, and she has her son Joshua. If you could all stand up. Right over here. It's right over here. Thank you for joining us. And to quickly tell you the story, Dana was put in a school. And on the first day of school, one of Yolanda's children came in. One of her daughters came in flip-flops. And Dana had a chance to talk to her and learned about Yolanda and her family's situation. They were living in a homeless shelter. Dana worked with them. We got them into rental housing. Joshua was having challenges in school. And if you look at it, Joshua needed some help on that front. Yolanda is currently working part-time now and working towards your GED, hopefully, in a full-time job. And Joshua is doing well enough in school. From what I understand, he won a Most Improved Award in both math and attendance. They had come from the South. And what I would say to them both is thank you for coming to Michigan and welcome to Michigan. And thank you for sharing your story. Thank you. So a great success. Another great success is our Summer Youth Initiative in terms of putting young people to work in some of our, again, 4 most challenged communities. This last year we did over 750 kids. And in terms of that outcome, it's been wonderful. It's been led by the DNR, but it's about public-private partnerships. There are many community organizations participating in this, and I wanted to recognize one of the people. I could have done many, but in terms of that person, I'd ask Anton Stinton Williams to stand up. Anton, you're right over there, too. Yep, there he is. So, Anton Stinton Winters is actually a very shy person from what I was told. Is that right, Anton? But I appreciate you standing up in this group because Anton's a success story. Anton is from the east side of Detroit. He's currently going to Macomb Community College. But in terms of activities, as I understand, you had done basketball and bowling. And by going through this program, you had a great exposure to many other wonderful things. And Anton is now to the point where he's actually applied for a position with the DNR and looking at other opportunities. And this is the kind of success story. And I appreciate you won an award for outstanding performance and perfect attendance in this program. So congratulations for your hard work. It pays off, and I look forward to seeing you be a success story in Michigan. Thank you. One other area that we made tremendous success last year was with autism. That was something that was very moving to me. If you look at it, we have at least 15,000 young people that are qualified candidates to get assistance. And we have evidence-based treatments that can materially improve the quality of their life, to allow them to have a great family life, to be successful. It's wonderful. And if you think about it, there are no losers. It helps society in terms of being more successful. And I really appreciate so many people here who reached out to make that legislation happen. In particular, I want to recognize 3 people. I wanted to recognize Senator Rebecca Warren. I wanted to recognize Senate Majority Leader Randy Richardville, who took up this cause from his very first days in the legislature, and Lieutenant Governor Brian Calley for their teamwork in making this happen. Thank you. One other area we really did that I'm proud of is Healthy Kids Dental. It's about giving kids in need better dental coverage, and it makes a huge difference. We now have over 440,000 people in Michigan in this program, young people, but we have a long way to go. But I'm proud to say in this current budget year, we're adding another 90-some thousand, and this is a program we should just continue until we get all kids in Michigan covered in some fashion, because it materially affects their life. But thank you for adding those extra 90,000 kids. It will make a difference in their lives. Good government. There's a topic that you know I get focused on as an old CPA. One thing I would say, one editorial comment, is we're a role model. I wish Washington, D.C. would follow the model we're creating about the basics that we're doing here. So if you talk to someone in D.C., you should tell them to look to Michigan. We do things right. And to give you a couple of illustrations of that, back in 2010, when I took office, we looked at the rainy day fund. And what was the balance in the rainy day fund? $2 million. Run the government for 30 minutes. The current balance in the rainy day fund is in excess of $500 million. That's success. Another huge win was on retirement reform in two ways. The first way is we materially reduced the liabilities, the future liabilities of our citizens by over $21 billion. That equates to $2,200 for every man, woman, and child in the state of Michigan. In terms of, those are real savings that will accrue to their benefit that they otherwise would have had to pay. The second piece of it, though, is it's important that the people in those retirement programs can count on having those retirement dollars show up when they retire. We had not been responsible in terms of state government. We are being responsible now. So I'm proud to say and stand up for those future retirees is we're going to work hard, we're going to continue on this path, and you'll have a funded system where you can count on having that retirement check when you do retire. A couple other items is employee empowerment. We worked hard on really getting state employees more fired up and active in the process. And I want to credit the Lieutenant Governor and a great team of coming up with something called Bureaucracy Busters. It was basically creating an environment where they could go online and submit ideas. We had over 10,000 state employees participate. They put in over 1,000 ideas. There was over 100,000 votes for different ideas, and we're implementing a number of those key ideas and recognizing the winners, and we're just going to keep that program going. It's really cool. It's about getting excited employees. This is not about being caught in a bureaucracy. This is about serving a customer, our citizens. And then I want to recognize something that's often overlooked is we probably had the largest court reform potentially in the history of the United States happen right here in Michigan. And it was large part due to your work in the legislature, but in particular I want to thank Chief Justice Bob Young and the Supreme Court and the entire judiciary for their involvement in this process, which talked about performance measures for courts, it talked about court consolidation, and it talked about concurrent jurisdiction. And that fine work's going to continue. So I want to compliment the court and all your fine work and your colleagues on moving ahead and bringing us in leadership in the country on these topics. So thank you. Now, 2012 wasn't all cheerful for all of us. At the end of the year, we had a difficult time. We had a divisive period. And that's unfortunate. And I wish it wouldn't happen. Sometimes it does happen in this world. And what I would say to all of you is, I hope we can work together. I hope we can work to avoid those kind of situations. And one of the most important things we do is we can have policy differences. We can have different perspectives. But ultimately, We're hired by the citizens and the people of the state of Michigan. And our role, our responsibility, is to give them great customer service. And to give them the best customer service, it's not dwelling on our differences, our different perspectives, and those kind of issues. It's really stepping up to say, how do we work together with respect to make sure we do the best job possible? And I appreciate that people had different perspectives on this issue. And what I'm saying is, I'm going to work hard to find common ground where we can work together, and I hope all of you join me in doing the same thing.